Good morning, the Aeson people. So we're going to do a quick video, as I did make an announcement before, about eventually we're going to look at working on a system that will allow you to hopefully walk on the plane when it's moving, with help from an automatic system. Okay. Now, in short, anyway, one of the important systems that will help with this is the pseudo system. As you're aware of, we already have this pseudo system that allows you to click to sit in a seat. Okay, we already do have that for the co-pilot and pilot system. What no one really knows, even though it still exists, is that actually you can already make a click to sit, click to seat, enabled seat for your plane already. The only thing is that the script isn't just yet updated, and then take into account of making the script, actually also remember to check the player's humanoid jump power so that it knows if it can allow them to jump. So in situations, of course, where you are in the air and you've actually no jumped yourself with J power, you can still jump out. That's of course going to be modified in the pseudo script update, so that you will not be able to jump out if your J power is less than 0. Now, what's important to know, of course, is quite simply, if you wanted to go ahead and just mess around with it right now as it is, I wouldn't recommend, of course, for the jump power thing. But if you wanted to mess around with it, just to prepare yourself for installing eventually for your seats, what you do is, let's delete this first of all. I'm also going to go ahead and delete my the one I've actually modified as well that I messed with too. I'm going to delete these two as well. Great. So what you can do is you can already copy and paste the already made seats from the pilot seat. Okay, and then you can just move this to wherever. If you have the Aeson interior, you could probably put it in there, and you know, if it's in the bottom floor, you could put it in here. You could make a whole new group and call it seats, whatever. Okay, now once you've done that, of course, move your seat and your part wherever you wanted it to go. Okay, you can rename this passenger seat. Okay, pretty much simple. Of course, this interior, you just make sure that it's linked to the interior basic if it's in the A380. Okay, with the A350, it doesn't have that because it's not, again, part of this system, the A380's interior system. But this interior part is just where I've copied and pasted it from the old A380's interior seating. I can't fully remember what it was used for. Pretty sure maybe it was like part of a no jump or something, something special there. But yeah, now that that's in there, all we simply do is go ahead in your floor button. If in the A350, just find the floor, you'll see something called seat interactions. Just duplicate one of these, rename it whatever you want. You can call it P1. Open this, click this part, add Doreen, okay, billboard guy, add Doreen in your properties, and find your seat. Okay, my passenger seat's there. Okay, so that's where the guy currently will show. I am gonna go and try and find a way to change this so that it will show. However, it will not be using the billboard guy anymore, because the billboard guy causes sometimes your camera to lose focus, so you're not able to turn. I'm going to try a different method, which is to use 2D guy manipulation and move the guy to the billboard guy's location without using the billboard guy. That way, it should allow you to be able to click and move around with no problems. Um, so we've selected P1. All we need to do now is change this from normal seat, from priority seat, sorry, to normal seat. What normal seat does is it ignores ranks, which is important for you to be able to sit in specific seats. With the co-pilot and the pilot seat, we have a rank system which doesn't allow anyone that's not authorized to sit in the product, okay, unless you've ranked it, of course, for the group. So now that's done, that's pretty much it. It's time to go ahead and test this. As you can see, that's pretty much worked. Um, you can also change the image to like a passenger seat or whatever icon you want to put on this. That will allow you, of course, for further customization. And you can even change the co-pilot icons as well if you feel like it. That's pretty much it. The update version, when I do the actual the system for hopefully walking around and it works well, will allow you to then pretty much safely, um, you know, jump, sit in the seat, and if you set yourself to no jump power, you'll be able to jump. So that will allow you that in this server, if you J power everyone to 0, they won't be able to jump. In the same way as if you made a no jump system that looks for all the humanoids in the game or in the plane, and you set the J power to 0 again, the same thing can be done. Um, as for planes as well, this movement system, when I eventually get down to it, as I said, the plan for it will be to allow people to walk around the plane, not manually but automatically in terms of there will be designated points that you'll be able to put that they can walk to, either if it's like your bar area, um, the cockpit if you know they're pilots, um, and of course all the seats around that are available, okay, that no one's sitting in, they can walk to those, um, and of course if the ability to make sure that if someone's clicked a seat and it will show that it's not enabled, or show that it's engaged at that point, and they will be forced to go and sit into that seat first before they can make any movements. That way, hopefully, it will reduce any possible risk of, people clicking for the same seat. Depending on who goes first, it should quickly lock out that seat. And of course, the ability, of course, to make those seats, if you choose to, with this system, again, priority locked. So if it's a specific rank that can only sit there, they can sit there. I most likely will go ahead and look at also in the same way, add in the scripts, just in the specific script for these seats, possibly some type of added value for if you may have specific rank locked player seats, I mean, not rank locked, but name locked seats, just in case maybe some of you use one of these seat booking systems and have seats that are actually locked to a certain buyer. So ideally, what we're trying to do is we're trying to, at least with the Aeson planes, remove previous seats as well, and as well it should reduce lag as well, because I heard reducing seat parts does reduce lag by quite a bit. So hopefully that's the aim. But the whole aim of this moving system, where we get ahead to it, will be to make the character be able to smoothly walk around safely as well, without having to sit in multiple seats, jump out, and will allow you to walk around in the plane um, when it's moving. Hopefully it goes well, of course, that's what we want. And also at the same time, it will hopefully reduce lag more in air, because the player, although it will look walking, we will make it look like it's walking, it will be collision off, and at the same time it will be also um, walking about, basically collision off, which will mean that collisions when it's walking manually should be pretty much non-existent. So there's less lag again when everyone's moving about in the air. Hopefully, of course, when we get time, we'll work on that. It goes well. Get a simple release, and I should literally change at least with for aviation again, another innovation in the bag, because this will simply mean now the need, it will be one of the first planes to actually be able to cruise a bit more realistically without the need of, a cruise brake or artificial cruising, like anchoring in the air midair, or body gyros to keep it in the air. And it should also hopefully produce more use of the autopilot system, because the pilots will be using autopilot, or probably manually turning if they want to the plane. The pilots, although we wouldn't want them to switch about and jump out and walk into the cabins and stuff, I will definitely see as well if to extend the system, of course, into the pilot, the cockpit, as I already talked about, so that they can, if they really need to, like change crews and stuff. We're just preparing the system ahead of what we hope Roblox will release. Grids, we do not know when Roblox will produce moving on walking platforms, and if they do, of course, that's always going to make our system possibly not useful, and well, I wouldn't say not useful, but not as needed anymore, like almost pointless. But again, to be honest, having the system there will still be more efficient anyway than Roblox's moving system, because moving system, you'll still have manual walking, of course, but it will just be like possibly more lag, because as I said, the character will still be colliding with the ground. So the more people walking around, the more collisions you can imagine. So the more lag in the server. Say you have 100 players in the server, and they're moving on a moving object, you can expect that the amount of collision lag that happens is obviously high. And you've got people maybe that will try and jump out the plane and stuff, so having an automatic system that allows them to get where they want to on the plane that's allowed for them to move is a lot better than having one where people can just jump about lawlessly, mess around, and quite in a lot of flights I do see a lot of people jumping out the plane. This should, like, of course, add a bit more realism in that people can't jump out the plane. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. So lots of love, and see you in our next update, which should be something to do with the A321.